All right, Sam, what are we doing today? What are we looking over?
Well, we are looking over our 5th gen Camaro race car here, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, what the car's been for us for a long time, and what we got planned for it moving forward. This car's got a bunch of history here. It was a naturally aspirated race car, like record holding piece, and for quite a while it held the stock bottom end LS3 quarter-mile record. I don't know exactly what it went high 8s, which is crazy with that combo. Changes we have made is pretty much everything. So we have taken out the old like engine. We've put in our 427 that's rated for 2,000 horsepower. And this is a package that we're looking to be offering soon. And it's mated to twin precision 6870s. And this combination should produce right around 2,000 horsepower. We're not really gonna be needing that for what we're trying to do. We're probably gonna go run some 850 class stuff and some 538 mile class stuff. So we'll probably need something like 11 or 1200 horsepower, which this is going to be more than enough for that. We are running non-intercooled methanol, and so we're not going to have a radiator, we're not going to have an intercooler. It's going to be a very light car. It's probably going to be 2,750, 2,800 pounds with the driver in it. This is our aluminum dart block offering, and it's got our PRC 260 heads on it, which is effectively an LS3 head. That's a 6-bolt head, so you get better clamping on your head gasket for when you're making a bunch of power and boost, right? We got the Texas Speed Titan intake. These are billet atomizer 5700 cc injector, I think. Big boys, lots of fuel. We built it so that if we do decide to turn it up and run like fast, then all we got to do is punch some keys. So we're building it for the big power off the bat. Going from the engine back, we have billet flex plate, which was on there, and then we have this super freaking nice Circle D torque converter. If you check that out, it's a bolt together unit, so we can change the stall speed at the track if we want, or between a race if there's something that we need to change without us having to send it back to them. We can just swap the parts in there. Previously this car had a turbo 350 in it, and now it's got a FTI Power Glide. This trans is rated for around 2,000 horsepower, so that should like get along well. Moving back, we've also changed the complete rear end from an IRS style to like a live axle. This is the Mosier, like bolt-in kit. Fits well. We made some mods to it here and there, primarily so that we could actually fit some shocks that have travel to them. The way it comes, you're gonna have very limited shock travel. So we cut some holes in the car, which some people may be upset about, but it had to happen. And we have some nice big, like some big boy tall shocks in there that are going to allow us on a radial to really have that separation to plant the tire and like get this car going fast,
Now, what are some of the differences between, having an IRS suspension, independent rear suspension, versus going to something like a solid rear end for drag racing? Like, what are those major benefits that you're going to see?
Control of the tire is probably the biggest one. Once you start making a bunch of power on IRS, you will get where if you come off the trans brake, the tires will physically try to like come in, and it puts tons of stuff in a bind. It can make the car hard to launch in a controlled manner because it may use something different every hit. So the cars that do that stuff that are really fast, they have complex alignments and a bunch of trick stuff going on back here, and generally speaking, it's hard mode. There's people that make it work. In a perfect world, the cars would be easier to drive, tune, and actually race if you have a straight axle back there, because then like both wheels are doing the same thing every time, and so you make an adjustment and it's going to be a far more predictable drag race car. We were making them amount of power. We were probably making 700 horsepower, and we're probably gonna come like close to doubling that. We just didn't want the headache of going out there and putting on a bad show, like losing a race because we had stock fit you and stuff back here. It's just not meant to do what we're gonna do.
All right. Talk to me about this fuel system in this bad boy.
It's nothing crazy. So we've got a, I think it's a 15-gallon cell, and then we have an Aeromotive 10-gallon per minute and tank pump feeding a -12 line that runs up toward the front, and it feeds both rails first, comes out of the rails and goes to a regulator, and then that will send like fuel back to the tank. And that's the way you want to plumb like anything that you're making a bunch of power with. You want the pump feed the rails and feed the engine first, and then what's left over can be sent to the tank, right? Oftentimes a bunch of stock cars are not done that way, and they work fine up until they don't. This is a situation where it wouldn't. That's how she's plumbed.
And so is this mostly changed because of the type of fuel that's being run in this car?
Both I would say the type of fuel and the power level. So we're like, we're roughly doubling the amount of power running a fuel that's much less energy dense. Saying that means you've got to run, it roughly takes twice the volume of like the fuel that we're going to run to feed the engine to make the same power. We had the engine making 600 horsepower on methanol. It would take twice as much fuel on that as it would if it was like a pump gas engine. And those are rough numbers. The type of fuel means we need a lot of fuel, and then we're also we're also doubling power. So we need at minimum 4 times as much fuel to the engine as what we needed previously.
What are you currently working on at this stage of the car, and then what are the next steps to kind of finish it, to get it ready for the track?
We're finalizing the exhaust side. We've got this side basically done. So if you look down there, we have the exhaust, the O2 bung, and we also tied in the wastegate into the primary exhaust pipe. And we did that in an effort to have a more consistent and accurate O2 reading, because the way this is, there's a possibility that the wastegate could introduce oxygen into the exhaust stream, and we could get an O2 reading that you may not want to trust. It could lead you the wrong way. And like an engine like this, generally speaking, you use the O2 as a data point, but not as like the last word. It's something that you look at and look at trends, but truly an engine like this, you tune these with the plugs. And tuning a methanol plug is interesting. We're going to get to know that and learn, like read those plugs. Like reading a pump gas plug, especially, pretty easy to like see your timing mark and to see if you're way overly rich or lean. It's very easy to see. Reading a methanol plug is substantially different because the fuel is effectively cleaning the plug. Like you'll plug out and it's going to look super clean unless it's so absurdly rich that it basically wouldn't run anyway, right? A different game, but we're gonna tune this thing by reading the plugs first and using the O2 as like a reference number basically. I need to finish the exhaust on the passenger side next, and then after that's complete, then I can start plumbing the cold side to the manifold. So hopefully that'll get taken care of next week. It's looking like maybe within the next week and a half, we should have this thing fired up and running at least.
Any last like safety equipment things that we're gonna need as far as like making sure we can get to the track and then stop at the track to continue doing runs?
We definitely need to add a parachute to the car, so I need to get them out. But the cage is good and the driver's seat's fine. Yeah, so basically shoot, man. After that, we need to get the car fired up, get it like rough tuned, and then we will probably rent a track and go out there and try to like actually dial it in.
Are you going to be piloting this bad boy?
It does appear that I will be driving the car. Yep.
All right.
So should be fun. Should make sweet flames and pops and bangs. So and a bunch of power. A bunch of power on a very light car. So
Texas Speed's coming back to the track this year. Y'all watch out. We're coming for some records.